So, I gotta say, yesterday was a pretty solid day overall. I mean, quite frankly, my only low is, I didn't get any more pumpkin spice stuff. Seriously, I can't tell you how many pumpkin spice things I got, in the last, really 48 hours, but, specifically yesterday, because, okay, and by the way, all the pumpkin stuff, it's my high. And yes, my inner white girl was very pleased. So, Peas Macarons has, and let me see if I can get it, caramel drizzled pumpkin cheesecake macaron, which, oh my god, was amazing. And speaking of pumpkin cheesecake, okay, so Wednesday Rita's had their pumpkin pie ice. Yesterday they had their pumpkin cheesecake ice. Oh my god. Between Peas Macarons and Rita's, my inner white girl is very happy. Everyone's got an inner white girl. And the way I see it, if you acknowledge the existence of pumpkin spice, you have an inner white girl. If you deny the existence of pumpkin spice, you are therefore denying stuff, therefore you have an inner white girl. Basically, no matter what, you have an inner white girl, so do not try and fight it. White girls are very good at denying things. It's true. They are. Seriously. Anyway, and my act of kindness was, I ran a few errands for my mom and my grandma yesterday. My mom has been nagging me to get a case of water for her, and I did. So I got her water, among other things, and spent the vast majority of the afternoon with my family, my mom and my grandma who's visiting. You know, we spent time together. We had tacos for dinner. It was really leftover taco stuff from Sunday, but it's tacos, dude. Oh, who don't like tacos? So good morning, happy Friday, and I was gonna say, speaking of tacos, but I don't think tacos have anything to do with Brazil, do they? I mean, I'm sure Brazilian people eat tacos, I suppose. Though it's not really a food you'd associate with Brazil. Anyway, my point is, actually, it probably has nothing to do with it. Who am I kidding? Because people from Brazil don't speak Spanish, they speak Portuguese. Which reminds me, yesterday's guest on Hot Ones was Anita, who, before I get into this episode, I'm actually quite perplexed about something. Because this, I do believe, is the 12th guest we've had this season of Hot Ones. And 12 is usually the magic number when it comes to how many episodes you have in a season. Yet, between the posts on Instagram and literally the episode yesterday itself, there hasn't been any advertising for yesterday's episode being the season finale. Which means either I at some point miscounted, or this year, I think this season Hot Ones is actually going to try and go for lucky, or unlucky, depending on your opinion, number 13. I mean, we'll know in the coming days specifically. Well, technically, you guys are going to find out on Monday. I'm not going to do an actual reaction until Tuesday. So, we'll see, about 4 days from now. Depending on, probably less than 4 days from now, depending on when I actually get Tuesday's video started. Right. So, Anita was on Hot Ones, and, I mean, when you know that your episode starts with the cold opener of being like, why would anyone do this to themselves? You know that they're on to bomb. And, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there were times I really thought Anita was going to tap out. I really thought, like, if any, like, no offense to her, I really thought, like, it looked it, kinda. But, give credit where credit's due, she persevered. And speaking of perseverance, that actually kind of goes into the very first question that Sean asked her, which was, what's it like being a kind of an outlier for her style of music, which is Brazilian funk or Browley funk for some people. And basically the way that she described it was, you take any song that you know in English, like let's say for example, Shania Twain's "Man, I Feel Like a Woman." I'm not entirely sure that's a good example, but any song, and you can put those lyrics. I mean, technically any song can be put into the lyrics of any language with, the proper effort and know-how. So you really can take, for example, any song in English, have the lyrics be in Portuguese, and Brazilian music is known for having a lot of beats, like they get with a groove and everything. Like, you put that together, like that's Brazilian funk. And when Anita was just starting out, the government really did not like artists of any kind singing about their lives. So, that's not cool. Thankfully, times are better, and, basically it gives, more people more opportunity to express themselves. And that's really important. We need that sort of thing in society. Well, within reason. Speaking of opportunity, that leads to the second question. And I love the way that Sean described the story. One night, Anita went to a taxi cab driver, like, take me to the nightclub where all the rich people go. Then later, she just take me to a nightclub where all the poor people go. And what can I say? Poor people know how to do it up. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure rich people are probably fun in their own right. I'm sure they know how to have a good time. But, she thought that the rich person's nightclub was boring. Meanwhile, like, the poor nightclub had, like, more upbeat music, and people were just having fun. And that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. I'll say that much. A couple of questions, though, were pretty much like them just, shooting skeet. Like, they talked about her experience with black pepper, because they got to, like, the lemon pepper wing. They also talked about a toilet clogging incident. I think, like, she was at a meeting, but she had to go to the bathroom and the toilet clogged. She was, like, 40 minutes later, it was like, where were you? Like, I went for a walk. Like that kind of thing. Okay, I will be honest. These next couple of questions, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's hot ones. Anything goes when it comes to the questions that are asked. But what makes for a great bedroom anthem? Well, in a way, what happens in the bedroom is kind of like dancing. As, when you dance, your movement has to go with, the music playing in the background. And what happens in the bedroom can work the same way. Man, I am trying very hard not to say anything dirty so I don't get canceled, please. Holy cow, like, here's a better example. Anita says, like, the beat should match the vibe of getting a massage. Something tells me that didn't sound any better. Okay. Let's see, what else? They talked about pairing a song with visuals, like, because, there really is a lot of work that goes into like a music video, obviously. And you gotta think like, okay, I have the song. Can I envision what I'm looking at if I'm listening to the song? In a lot of ways, you know what it's like to me? Okay, sometimes you can already clearly envision like what you're gonna have. But in a lot of ways, it's kind of like, okay, as someone who grew up watching stuff like Naruto and One Piece, when the art of the quote-unquote AMV became really popular, like, you had the music. You just needed the visuals to really emphasize that. And believe it or not, anime always did a great job at purveying the concept of show and not tell. I mean, seriously, if you want to get really excited, watch like an AMV of Naruto or One Piece, and the song playing in the background is something from Dragon Force. That's actually how I fell in love with Dragon Force, actually. Seriously, one of my all-time favorite AMVs I'd ever seen. I don't think it's on YouTube anymore, but it was a One Piece. It was a fight in One Piece. It was a Luffy versus Lucci, and Fury of the Storm was playing in the background. There was actually two versions of this song, of that song. The one version I don't think is on anymore. The other one's okay. I actually just saw it not that long ago for nostalgia's sake. It still holds up. I mean, dude, it's One Piece mixed with Dragon Force. Why would that be a bad thing? Seriously. Okay, I'm talking about Hounds. Okay, I love this question. How do you feel about reading your own press? And in the beginning, Anita did read it every day, but now, like, I don't care. I do not care whatsoever. Those are her words, not mine. And I mean, in a lot of ways, it follows the don't look at the comment section scenario that we all know about. So I see where that comes from. Let's see. 3 Brazilian snacks she should have. She should have a Globo, something about corn, candy, something called Pasal, which is like peanut butter, I think. Yeah, I couldn't figure out how it was spelled and pronounced. I'm sorry. Apparently, she also endorses a special kind of cologne. A cologne, well, obviously men wear cologne, so it's for men. And it is made and or produced solely for making a certain part of the male anatomy smell better. I'm not going to say what it is, although Anita very clearly said, men, they smell. I'm not going to say what they are. Although, my argument for that is, ladies, if any part of your man smells bad, tell them to go take a shower. I would think that's a little less expensive than buying a fancy cologne for a certain part of the male body I'm not going to talk about. But that's just me. And for the last dab, Anita, because like, here's the thing, all throughout this whole episode, as much as Anita was suffering from the heat from the wings, she really always did try and look at the positives and things. And so Sean asked him, is there anything positively you can say about the wings of death? And her answer's like, nothing. I mean, she pretty much hit the nail on the head with what everyone thinks about Hot Ones at this point, which is, it is good to see people's reaction to torture, whether they're watching it from afar or they're actually putting themselves in the torture. And because of the interview process that Hot Ones is, and this is something I've been stressing for a long time, and that's why this is why I think Hot Ones really is a good show. Yeah, there's hot wings. Yeah, it can be funny. Yeah, it can It makes people go to some crazy places. But at the end of the day, the questions that Sean Evans asks really are a means of getting to know someone better. And that's really important. I mean, again, this is another episode where going in, I had no clue who Anita was. And while the questions are a little risque for me to talk about on camera, I do feel like I got to know Anita a little bit better. So, the premise is okay. She thinks the premise is good. The show is good. I mean, personally, it's my firm belief that Sean Evans is the best wingman in the game, no pun intended. But in terms of anything positive about the Wings of Death, nothing. I mean, she let those wings have it in terms of, not saying anything nice at all about them. Which, you know what they say, if you can't say something nice, then don't bother saying anything at all. Although I am glad I got to say that I saw yesterday's episode of Hot Ones. I'm glad, nay, humbled, that I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. See what I did there? I am very hopeful we have a wonderful Friday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk or chat, I was going to be here to let me know right back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.